We received a question about housing subsidies from a resident who did not ask that we do not use their name. The resident asked about housing assistance for people who are on a fixed income and are not senior citizens. What would you say to that resident? And more generally, what is your plan for preserving and creating affordable housing in our city? And we're starting with Mr. Crossland, 2 minutes each.
Well, thank you for that. Affordable housing has always been a problem in Hyattsville. Years ago, I used to be a contractor for HUD, and we worked for the Hope 6 project. And there are no HUD houses in Hyattsville. There have been at one time Section 8 housing in Hyattsville. However, I think that when developers come to the city, our leverage is when they come to the city for tax breaks, we have to say to them, how much affordable housing are you providing for us? Okay, and if they don't come with the affordable housing, then we can't get them the tax break. Now, it was mentioned earlier that we want a rent stabilization program, but it just so happens I noticed that the city of Tacoma Park has one, and they've had one for years. And I don't think that we need to actually reinvent the wheel. We need to take their plan and see what worked and what didn't work and tailor it to fit Hyattsville. I think it's a perfect opportunity to look at the pitfalls that they found when they did this. And one of the things that I've learned is that when you do housing, when you do rent stabilization, it actually devalues the property, so then there's less property taxes coming in to the city. It also incentivizes the owner to actually do renovations on the property. So we have to find a middle ground. We have to be able to allow both things to happen for us to actually give relief to renters and to make it possible and actually be able to direct those funds to the renovation and upkeep of those units. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shively, same question.
Okay. So during the pandemic, there was a successful program, had some difficulty administering the program, but ultimately a very successful program, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. Of course, many people, for no fault of their own, were missing paychecks and without work during large stretches of the pandemic. The Emergency Rental Assistance Program came in and helped people avoid evictions. There was also an eviction moratorium, which largely was successful in keeping residents housed and not out on the streets. Housing affordability is my biggest issue. I will say that there's a lot that the county controls. People may not know this, but in Hyattsville, as in almost all municipalities in Prince George's County, we don't control our own planning and zoning. That means things like allowing homeowners to build mother-in-law apartments, increasing our housing stock. That's banned at the county level. We can't do it. Also, Robert mentioned inclusionary zoning. That is something that the county controls. Inclusionary zoning requires minimums of affordability for large-scale development. That's something we can't do. So obviously, we need to keep engaged with the county. We did recently publish an affordability toolkit, and I've heard from so many residents who have experienced tremendous rent increases in excess of 50%. To help preserve our affordable housing stock and to minimize involuntary displacement of Hyattsville residents, I will introduce legislation to stabilize rental rates and put an end to the rent gouging that we have been seeing.
Thank you. Mr. Butt, your response?
Okay, I understand affordable housing is on the top of the list, I think, of both of the candidates that just spoke. I, on the other hand, want to taper away from affordable housing in Hyattsville. Now, hear me out. one of the candidates even calls Hyattsville a destination right now. And in fact, I was looking at the data by the Maryland Department of Labor, and in the next 5 to 10 years, the greatest number of job growth is going to be in cooks and chefs, as per the predictions, as per the calculations, right? So I want to like navigate. I want to state it plainly and navigate away from that destination mentality. I think we want to go towards a leader mentality. I think we want development so that our residents get higher pay, more gainful employment, and then they can not worry about lights just came back. Then they can not worry about affordable housing because they have more gainful employment, right? So let's move to the development and leadership mentality, and not affordable housing or destination mentality. I think destination implies low wages. It's a service industry if it's a destination. Anyway,